Here's what I do step by step to achieve volume and body in my blowout routine. Step 1 is prep. Prepping your hair with product is so important because it ensures longevity in your style. Product isn't as useful if it's not being applied correctly. Here is how to get the most out of your volumizing products. Heat protection is so important in any style, and if you're wanting to achieve volume, you want to use something that's super lightweight that you can coat the hair to make sure it's protected but not weigh it down. I'm using Brilliant Damage Control, which is a heat protectant, but it's super lightweight, so it's not gonna weigh my hair down when I want volume and body. I'm gonna take this and in sections, coat my hair from roots all the way to the ends and rake that through and squeeze it in. The important thing is that we're not using something that's heavy, that's going to weigh down all the hard work we've put into getting volume into our blow dry. But we still need to protect it from the heat. So doing that in sections so that it actually coats the hair instead of just doing a quick spritz throughout so it only gets in like teeny spots of your hair is very important. Now I'm going to be using a volumizing root spray, and this is going to give grit to the hair right at the roots, which is where we tend to get the most oily and it tends to fall flat the quickest. And with this, it's not going to be helpful to just spritz it throughout the hair and get it kind of all over the place. It's not gonna do its job. So with this, I'm going to focus right at the roots because that's where we want the grit. And I'm going to spritz it generously enough in those areas, section the hair, and spritz it right at the roots, throughout in all of the spots that we're really needing volume. A lot of people really want volume in this back kind of crown section. So make sure to open that up and get it right at the roots there too. I go all the way throughout the areas that I'm wanting volume. Now, we're gonna massage it to activate it and also just distribute it evenly at the roots. Last, I'm gonna use a styling mousse, which is going to be basically almost like a light hold gel, but fluffy. So it's going to give you hold to your style and a bit of volume and body as well. You can do this a couple different ways. I like to pump it into my hands so that I can see how much I'm using, distribute it on your hands, and then work that in from the roots all the way through the ends, kind of scrunching that in so that you're not getting rid of all of the foaminess and bubbles that are supposed to help with the fullness of the hair instead of combing it down and kind of flattening the product out, right? Another way that you can do it is actually pumping it right into the hair if you want to use more and massaging it in that way from roots to ends. Now that we've got our hair prepped with products, we're gonna go to step 2, which is pre-drying the hair. The pre-dry is actually so important because it's gonna set the foundation for your style of your hair. So whatever you do here, where you're getting majority of the moisture out, is going to set you up for either success or failure in your style. In this, the tools that you use are very important. They're gonna make a big difference in the efficiency of your blow dry. I always use the Denman D4 hairbrush. And I use this because it gets great tension in the hair, whether I want to smooth it or get volume or both. So I'm just gonna kind of comb through my hair a little bit. Kind of helps you distribute the product that you've already put in and just get me a bit organized so I'm not tangly and messy. And of course, I'm gonna be using the Dyson Supersonic. This thing is my favorite. I'm gonna take the nozzle off. The best part about this is it's gonna give me enough heat to get it smooth and get the style that I want, but it's going to regulate the temperature so that there's little to no heat damage. Let's get into it. We're gonna start right away with the hairline, and we want volume. So instead of bringing everything down to smooth it, I'm just immediately gonna go up. And this is gonna be intense. Sometimes you don't wanna go this hard with it, but we're gonna do it this time. Comb back and then rock it back and pull straight out of the head. And I'm gonna do that all the way around my hairline. So you can see how already this is starting to work for me. Obviously, if we're going for volume and our hair naturally falls down, we just wanna do the opposite and pull it up. So volume is just getting rid of the natural fall of the hair as we dry it. So we're picking it up off of the head instead of letting it dry while it's down here. So think about that all the way throughout the process. So I really got that hairline dry, and you can see how the products are working for me really well because it's hanging on to this instead of immediately just getting silky and falling back down. Now, I have the rest of the dampness in my hair that we need to get out, so we're gonna do kind of something similar, but a little less intensely, and just lift the hair up off the head again so that we're not allowing it to dry down with gravity. So everything that you're drying at the roots, you're lifting up the opposite way that it would fall down. At this point, I like to feel with my hands at the roots to see how much water I have left in there so I can kind of make sure I'm getting the air in the right spots. And as you can see, I like to move the blow dryer up and down the whole time to kind of open the hair up so I can actually get into the hair to get the water out instead of the air just hitting me in one spot the whole time. Once I get to this kind of top center section and I've gotten the underneath down, I'm gonna go back in with that rocking motion with the Denman to try to get a lot of lift in this top area, which is like where we want it the most. And even when I'm doing this part, I'm not just shooting the air in one spot and letting that hair burn. I'm moving it up and down so that I'm not sitting with a ton of heat in one area. And you're getting a larger section of hair dry, so it's getting you further in the process faster. Step 3, sectioning the hair. Y'all know I love the sectioning. We're gonna do 3 sections with alligator clips. Alligator clips are called alligator clips, I think, because they kind of look like an alligator jaw. They've got all these like teeth in it, and it's basically so that it can grab onto large sections of hair. It doesn't really leave big creases, but this thing bends so it can like hang on to like a big chunk of hair. I don't really have that problem because I don't have that much hair, but other people, it's really important. Way better than having like a little flat clip like this. It's not gonna hang on to the amount of hair that you want to. We're gonna go mohawk little section here, open that up. We like to keep as much volume in here as possible. I can already feel that there's a little bit of dampness here that I don't want, so I'm just gonna hit it with the blow dryer quick. Once you're at this point, lifting it just straight up from the head is gonna work out fine for that and help keep the lift and volume in there. So as usual, I like to hold this up, put one finger in, and then just do a little twirl and have a little bun there, and then take the alligator clip and just go boop right over the top so it hangs onto all that hair. Now we're gonna go over the ears, all the way around to the back. Again, do a little twisty, not too tight so that we keep some volume in these areas. Take the big clip, open it up, and clamp right over the whole little bun there. Now, split in half, pull it to the front. Step 4, dry. We're finally getting to the finishing drying part. So we're gonna use the Dyson. We're gonna put the concentrator on it, which is another thing that I love about it because it's so easy to just pop on, pop off. So our hair at this point is like pretty much majority dry, but now we're focused on adding movement and the body to it. And that's what we use round brushes for. So these are Ergo's, they're called ER53 round brushes. I think they're 2 inches. This is kind of my favorite size. I feel like it's versatile in terms of any hair type can use it. You'll just get a little more movement and a little more body versus like a bigger one and then a little less than a smaller one, but it's pretty easy to work with on any hair type and any length of hair. So this is my #1 favorite. I've got 2 different ones here. This is the super gentle and then this is their regular one. This one's a little bit more hard and so it's gonna be better for like medium to coarse hair. This one's really soft, but it works really well still. It's gonna get you the smoothness that you need, but it's gonna be a bit gentler on like really fine, thin hair. So based on what kind of hair, that's kind of how you would choose which brush to use. I'm gonna use the more intense one. Even though I have fine hair, I can handle this one. Also, all of these products will be linked below if any of you guys are interested in anything. We're gonna start on this side. Again, lift creates volume. We don't want everything to come down with gravity. That's just what it's naturally gonna do anyway. If we're getting in up at the top and we're pulling down like we do when we do a smooth blow dry, we're not gonna get any volume, unfortunately. We will get movement, but no volume. So this time we need to lift up, okay? So it's a little bit more of a workout. We're gonna need a lot of water breaks in this one. So we're gonna go in, start lifting immediately, turn a little bit, and then let's put the heat right up at the top. We're gonna lift up with this as we blow dry it, still spin at the bottom like we usually do, but then roll it up and heat it up before we take it down. It's cooled a little bit. We're gonna take this off by doing a little spin situation here. So instead of coming straight down, we're going flicking away, but like softly so you don't get tangled. Okay, let's go over here. In this situation, because I'm having to lift and this is easier for some reason than this, we're gonna go in like this with our arm, get up in there. I'm gonna tilt my head a little to help with the lift. We're gonna do the same thing. The hair's pretty much dry, so this part isn't as long as it would be if your hair was like super wet. So when we get in there and up to the top, I'm only having to do a couple spins right up at the top. Again, flick away from the face. And that just kind of creates a bit more body and volume instead of yanking it down. All right, we've moved on to the center section. I've taken it down. You can see how just from the pre-dry over here, we still have a lot of body and volume left over just from that. So we're utilizing that. Also our product, you can tell, is really working for us here because without the product having that grit and hold to it, this would all be gone. So let's start from the back, do the exact same thing that we've been doing this whole time. Get up at the root here, we're lifting. I'm actually gonna pull a little bit towards me because it's gonna help with volume and pulling up, but I'm also gonna be able to have a little bit more control over this. And we're gonna flip away from my face. Yay. All right, let's do this one again. I'm gonna go in again with my hand like this so I can handle this better. Flicking. Oh, beautiful. Splitting in two. Flick. You can try switching hands and doing the same thing. Luckily, it's like pretty slow and easy, so you can try that. If not, you can go in this way across and then bring your arm over here or like this. It's a little bit more difficult that way, but let's try it just to show you. Still gonna have to use the other hand to flip it. All right, with this section, like I always do, I like to move across this way. So we're gonna start with the piece that lands on the crown of your head. Clip this stuff away with the same alligator clip so it's not in my way. We're gonna put the round brush here and we're gonna lift up, guys. Lift up and pull forward a little bit, which is harder, but it's worth it. Get in, spin, are gonna flick. Nice. Volume. Move across, clip. Last one, I like to comb forward like this just to make sure I get all of these hairs together, and then go this way. We're gonna lift up. No one's gonna know what to do with me today with all this volume in my hair. They're gonna be like, who are you? What's happened? Okay. Is it working? I think it is. Step 5 is finishing. Obviously, we're not gonna leave the hair like this. You could if you wanted to, but I'm not going to. So our finishing products are gonna be a hairspray and perhaps a serum, depending on what kind of hair you have. I like to use Aveda's Air Control. It's super light and airy, kind of a texture spray. You could go through each section after blow drying it and give it a spritz there. If your hair doesn't hold very well, the more product, the better. For me, mine holds pretty well, so I just like to finish with this. And if you have really frizzy or thick hair and you need to calm the hair down a little bit more and add some shine back into it, you could go in with a serum. This is a like bonding serum by Oribe that I like. Another one I like to use is Light Element Smoothing Fluid by Aveda. This one is great because it's just light enough that even if you have finer hair, you are not gonna feel super weighed down by it, but you can use more if you're prone to just fluffy or frizzy hair and you put all this work in. You don't want it to just turn into like a frizzy, fluffy mess. Here's another fun tip. Now that all of this is together, we kind of want to just like reinvigorate it and then polish it. So you can flip your head over and massage it. Massage just at the roots to kind of reactivate that product that you already put in there earlier, and just get all those roots lifted up just in case they've decided to settle in on your head a little bit. Flip up, oh yeah, it works. So then from there, we can decide, how do we want this to lay? I feel like I cannot do a center. I like just need to dial into a vintage side part vibe with this much body because I so rarely wear body in my hair. So this is what finishing is, okay? It's like polishing and figuring out how exactly you want your hair to lay, and then taking your product that's gonna hold this or smooth this and lay it down where you want it to stay the rest of the day. That is finishing the hair. So now that we've got this, which is beautiful and totally wearable, we're gonna take the hairspray and I'm going to lift a little here, spritz a little, because that's gonna help that stay. I'm gonna pull a little bit over here, go like this. So this is just like how I like to wear it, but if you like to wear it bigger, by all means, flip your hair over, massage it, spray it while you're upside down, and then flip it back up and spray it some more and just fluff, you know? You don't have to calm it the way that I do. This is just my preference on how to wear it, but you can do it any way you want to. So take it and then tweak it for what you like. Try this at home and let me know if it made a big difference in adding volume to your blow dry. Have you been using your products properly? Have you been using product at all and trying really hard to get volume but then not having anything to support you? I would love product recommendations. These are just ones that I've been using for a while now, but I would love to try new ones. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to see another blowout video, click here. Love you guys.